What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss everything you need to know about on a daily basis, including money, investing, the stock market, the fourth stimulus package update, and stimulus check update. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, make sure to click the subscribe button down below as it's completely free to do so. And remember that new videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will keep you up to date with everything you need to know about. And also, thanks so much for hitting the like button for us down below. You're not going to believe this, but remember when the Texas governor Greg Abbott said that he was going to send buses with migrants from Texas to Washington D.C. and drop them off in Washington D.C.? Well, apparently he actually did it. Yeah, check this out.
Welcome back, everyone, here to Live Now from Foxville. New video coming in right now from D.C., where a bus from Texas has arrived this morning, transporting dozens of illegal immigrants as part of Texas Governor Greg Abbott's new plan to counter federal immigration policies during an ongoing border crisis. Abbott announced just last week that he was directing the Texas Division of Emergency Management to transport migrants released from federal custody in Texas to the nation's capital and other locations outside his state. The bus pulled up at approximately 8 a.m., just blocks away from the U.S. Capitol. Fox News has learned that they come from the Del Rio sector in Texas after coming in to the U.S. from Colombia, Cuba, and Venezuela. Upon the bus's arrival in D.C., individuals disembarked one by one, except for family units who exited together. They checked in with officials and had wristbands they were wearing cut off before they were told that they could go. According to Abbott's plan, he says it's already working. The agency told Fox News on Monday that they have many of the communities that originally reached out for support from the Rio Grande Valley to Terrell County say the federal government stopped dropping immigrants in their town since Abbott's announcement just on April 6th. Some have questioned whether Abbott's plan to bus migrants was genuine. The White House dismissed it as a publicity stunt. Even Texas State Representative Matt Schaefer, a Republican, called it a gimmick. And then, well, now we have the video to prove it here that Abbott was not calling it a gimmick at all. Still, the governor's legal authority to transport busloads of migrants to the U.S. Capitol remains in question. The 2012 Supreme Court case, Arizona versus the United States, prevents states from making their own immigration policies there. Abbott insists that the federal government is failing to adequately address the situation. President Biden recently announced that he would be rescinding Title 42, which was used to expel migrants swiftly due to the COVID-19 pandemic. We'll see what the White House has to say about all of this a little bit later today at their briefing. In a tweet today from Greg Abbott, he said, first Texas bus drops off illegal immigrants blocks from U.S. Capitol in Washington, D.C. Biden refuses to come see the mess he's made at the border, so Texas is bringing the border to him there. That is from Greg Abbott, just tweeting that out moments ago.
Yeah, so this is real news. Just to let you guys know, this is not made up. So I would let me know your thoughts here. The Texas is actually sending migrants over to Washington D.C. Yeah. So let me know your thoughts here in the comments. And I'm not choosing sides or anything, just letting you guys kind of know what's going on here in our country. Retirees and Social Security, everybody under the Social Security umbrella, SSI, SSDI, railroad benefits, VA, are potentially looking at the largest cost of living adjustment in 4 decades or even ever because of how high inflation is right now. The most recent inflation reading from March was 8.5%. And an 8.5% cost of living adjustment, if that were to be the next cost of living adjustment, you could see the headline here. Retirees could get the biggest biggest Social Security cost of living adjustment in 4 decades, or even potentially ever. This would definitely help out with inflation here. But the problem is that this is really hurting a lot of people right now, This is really hurting a lot of people right now. Thankfully, a lot of states are stepping up here with stimulus checks, and we've actually had several states starting to pass them. New Jersey, or I'm sorry, New Mexico. I say New Jersey because I have this article right here. New Jersey, this is from NewJersey.com, actually. NewJersey.com. New Jersey says they will almost certainly provide some relief as gas prices soar. Their governor Murphy says. Here's the latest out of New Jersey. Their governor says that Governor Phil Murphy says the state will almost certainly provide some sort of relief for residents. Murphy says officials are still trying to figure out what kind of move the highest bang for the buck as officials sort across the nation search for ways to offset gas prices or other effects of high inflation. The biggest bang for the buck is stimulus checks. I think everybody kind of realized that. And Alaska, with their $2,600 stimulus payments that they have just passed in their House of Representatives, and that I think that still has to be passed by their Senate. But their $2,600 stimulus checks in the state of Alaska, and Pennsylvania's $2,000 stimulus check here that was just announced by the Governor Wolf. That $2,000 stimulus check; those are some really hefty stimulus checks. I mean, I don't honestly think every state's going to do them that high, but a lot of states are doing several $100 stimulus checks. New Mexico just passed $500 to $1,000 stimulus checks. Yeah, this is for the state of New Mexico. These are just passed. It's $500 per person and $1,000 for married couples. Again, New Mexico, those are officially passed now. Those will be coming out here soon. And the state of New York has their Senator Daphne Jordan has just put out a common sense amendment to potentially send out $1,000 stimulus checks here for the state of New York. And of course, we know California has potential $400 stimulus checks per person for a total of $800 per married couple or per grandma, grandpa, per mother, father. California is almost surely going to do something here this year as well. Last year, they did $600 stimulus checks for people that made under $75,000 and filed a tax return. This year, they could send them out, but they could send them out to car owners, depending on if they just do them slightly differently this year. We also have stimulus checks being talked about on the federal level. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi just recently said that she prefers rebate cards or direct payments being sent here directly to the people, just like the third stimulus check that was sent out as soon as President Biden came into office, or like a month or two after, as soon as they passed it, as opposed to pausing the federal gas tax because basically it wouldn't help benefit the gas companies, and a stimulus check is better for everybody because then people can decide how they want to spend the money, and I think we all know that cash is better for everybody because you can spend the money however you want to spend it, right? And I think that we all kind of know that in addition to a federal stimulus check, um, also I think that the cost of living adjustment helps out a lot of people as well keep up with inflation because those cost of living adjustments are permanent. So when you get that, that's a permanent increase. So um, if we got, say, the largest cost of living adjustment in 40 years, that's a permanent increase. You get that forever. So that will be a permanent increase that goes on for the rest of time. So, like last year's 5.9% increase, that was the largest in a long time. I don't remember how long it was, but 30 years or something like that. You're going to get that 5.9% increase from here on out. Okay, and really this upcoming years is probably going to be larger than that. Probably going to be larger than that, and we're going to need it. We're going to need it because you really kind of think here. There's so many different things here you can kind of see that are going up here. Egg prices have risen to historic levels due to a highly infectious bird flu. And there's just so many things that are going on here. It just seems like it just uh so many different kind of weird things going on here. We have the war in Ukraine. We have egg prices going on to it's almost kind of like it's time to not buy eggs right now because they're just so expensive right now. Yeah, you can see here consumers might need to send the Easter Bunny a bill after decorating their eggs this year. Yeah. A highly infectious avian flu is forcing farmers to kill millions of egg laying birds. That's sad. Across more than half the country, driving the price of eggs up to historic levels only days before Easter and Passover. Wow, that is really sad. The wholesale price for white, large Midwest shell eggs is nearly 3 times as much as last year. Wow. The cost of a dozen eggs surpassed $3 on March 31st, which has only happened once before, according to researchers on Erner Berry. The rising costs are driven in part by the bird flu outbreak that has been detected in at least 26 states and has led to the death of at least 1 million birds. Yeah, so that's the thing. These kind of pandemics, even bird flu outbreaks, people kind of don't realize that this kind of stuff happens all the time. And you think of the pandemic that the COVID pandemic, and you think of all these pandemics that have happened throughout history. You think of the Spanish flu, the bubonic plague, and Ebola, bird flu, Zika virus, all these kind of different things. I know that people want to sometimes blame it on Democrats, Republicans, the uh, the drug companies, and I get to some degree that sometimes factors like that are at play. But I mean, look right now. There's a bird flu killing millions of birds. Sometimes stuff like this just happens, and I get that some of us all have a conspiracy theorist in us, and sometimes even I will sometimes think, and I get it that maybe the pandemic came out of a lab in China. I get that as well. Um, but you also got to remember that these pandemics have also been going on for probably millions of years. If you just look back through the history of time, I mean, look at this bird flu that's going on right now. And honestly, I'm 41 years old. Um, for the next 41 years, I hope to live another 41 years. Um, think about how many more viruses are going to be around. Think about all the viruses that have been around for the last years. Think about all the diseases that have been around for the last years. Think about the um, the shots that we've all had to get. Think about like chicken pox and all the shots you got as a kid, and all the stuff like that. And think about how far modern medicine has come. And I get that there's for some people a lot of skepticism on this shot, but if you kind of think about how far modern medicine has come, we've come very, very far, and we really have eradicated a lot of diseases, and really you got to kind of give it to modern medicine, because if you don't if you don't keep evolving and keep, you know, testing these kind of things, um, we'll never find the cure for anything, right? And I mean, you can let me know your thoughts here in the comments, but I mean, look at what's going on here with the bird flu. 1 million birds they've had to kill, and the same thing with that. I mean, I feel like they have to test that stuff. They have to, because remember that the pandemic, that the virus that the COVID is actually a from a bat. You know, so bird flu, all that kind of stuff is kind of relevant. Yeah. So, and remember that right now in China, they have 50 million plus people on lockdown with the BA.2 virus that is here in the US. It's actually the dominant strain right now. It just hasn't kind of went viral. Yeah. Yeah. So, you really kind of put this all into perspective and think about the future because I don't know. I don't know. And this all has to do with the food prices and everything. And you got to kind of think about this. If we could go forward 5 years into the future, do you think we'll still be dealing with COVID? It's kind of interesting because, on one hand, we're still dealing with the flu. The flu is always around. Do you think that COVID will still be around? Do you think it's going to be around forever? Or do you think we'll be able to eradicate it at some point? It is kind of an interesting thought here. And that's where you kind of want it's you don't want modern medicine to just give up, and that's where I feel like some people kind of want that to happen. Some people are like, forget about it. But that's not what you want to happen. You want us to keep evolving and keep have modern medicine and science keep working because, I mean, think about how much smarter we are in modern medicine than like 100 years ago. Yeah, I mean, modern medicine almost didn't even exist 100 years ago, and really, that's one lifetime. I mean, I think about where I'm 41 years old. I mean, imagine in another 40 years, I plan to still be alive, right? Or my child Julian, right? Um, you got to kind of think about this, because your children, your grandchildren, right? I mean, this is like the future, right? And if you think about these viruses, bird flus, and everything like this, all this stuff just continues to happen and has been happening for a long, long time. And when you think about the whole human race and your family and your children's children and stuff like that, seems like this stuff is gonna continue happening, and we gotta kind of combat it when it comes to this type of stuff. So yeah, let me know your thoughts here. It is kind of interesting when you think about it all in that aspect. Yeah, so I'll keep you up to date here with everything going on here in our country. Make sure to subscribe down below. New videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can click here to watch my newest video next. And if you haven't watched this video, it's how low and middle income can get up to $6,900. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.